Everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video, just going to be going over the patch 6.51 patches. A lot of people seem to have just forgotten. You know how many people were surprised 6.51 was happening today? It's like, we found this out during the opening keynote when they announced the Fall Guys event would be 6.51. But I figure, you know, probably just do my usual and make a patch note video as I'm waiting for the servers to go live in about 80 minutes as of the recording of this. So 6.51 is the third and final variant and Criterion dungeons for Endwalker. It is the Splendorous tools. It is a new map for the next PvP season as well. And it is the beginning of the Fall Guys event, which will be around for the next couple of months or so. So, with that, let's get to it. And as a reminder, for those who don't know when everything else is coming out, Manderville weapons, somehow further Hildebrand quests, Tataru's Grand Endeavor, the Endwalker Tribal Alliance quest, and a new Island Sanctuary quest earn 6.55, as well as the second half of the main scenario will also be there. We don't know when the 16 event's going to happen, but you know, probably sometime after that. Anyway, let's scroll down. First of all, Splendorous tools, the final step for those crafter and gatherer relics. I have not touched them. So hopefully you're enjoying your time over on the first with Moen and Grenault. But I haven't really kept up with it at all. But that is going to be beginning in the Criterion at Grenault after you've done the quest from the previous one. And then you'll have Dance Like Moen is Watching. Then you have the variant dungeons where our boy Matsya is going to be joining us. And the first quest from that is Stranger from Paradise. Not to be confused with Stranger of Paradise. Either way, I sure hope that Stranger from Paradise is here to kill chaos. Because that's what I'm hoping they're actually here for. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing all day. I'm going to do the variant dungeon once and then hop into Criterion and get my Criterion prog on phone. Be quiet. I'm busy right now. Why is it going off? Why am I getting emails at 1 in the morning? It's 1:40. To be fair, it's not 1:40 in the morning for everybody, but what are the odds, right? So yeah, those are the variant quests, of course. Going to have to do all the pads in order to get the final mount, which should be the pixie carrying us according to the website that we did a video on the other day. And also, Auto will be added to New Game Plus once you've done that as well. Housing, some new furnishings. You have the little lampshade there. You have some stuff from Auto, it looks like. Some new orchestrion rolls, probably also from Auto. As well as, I think, the Fall Guys song is another one from the event. Speaking of which, Blunderville, a new Gold Saucer attraction made in collaboration with Fall Guys, has been added. This is going to be available for the next 2 months, and then they are going to cycle it in and out, as they put it, at irregular intervals. 24-player Battle Royale, fight through 3 stages. Further you make it, the better the rewards. And then you spend the rewards, the MGF as they are called, on a variety of things, which they list on the Fall Guys website itself, or on the Fall Guys collaboration website itself. So from Tuesday, October 31st until Sunday, December 31st at 6:59 a.m. Don't worry. Don't have to worry about doing it on New Year Eve. You can you can be done in the morning, and then you have all of New Year's Eve to go, you know, party on. Just do the Just Crowning Around quest over in the Gold Saucer, as long as you're at least level 15, so as long as you have access to it. How to participate, you just have to speak to Y, or we, or the Blunderville attendant, and you can participate in a show. So, party leader speaks to the registrar to join the show with the currently formed parties. Parties can be registered regardless of size. Cross-world parties are also permitted. So yes, you can make a full 24-man and go in there yourself, or you can go in with 6 or 11 or 17 or whatever you want to. Party members other than the party leader are not required to be in Blunderville Square either, so just makes it easy. Alliance registration. The Alliance leader must speak with the Blunderville registrar. Oh, no. So it looks like if you can have anything between 1 to 8. This is confusing because parties can be registered, but it's not the same as Alliance registration. If you want to queue in with more than 8, you need the full 24, which is silly, but I'm sure that's just because the backend systems can't handle it. Oh, man. Well, I got you baited by this, so that was nice, but then it happened here. Either way, most people are just going to form a party of 1 to 8. Alliance members other than the Alliance leader are not required to be in Blunderville Square. Ranking for each stage are calculated based on personal progress rather than the entire party or alliance. All right, let the show begin. Then I'll send them to Lobbyville. Show will begin when all 24 challengers have gathered. Set amount of time has passed before 24 challengers have gathered. The show will begin automatically. It's good to see. How to play each show will have 3 stages in total. Players must complete the objective. I mean, it's just explaining how Fall Guys works at this point. Challengers qualified for the next stage will remain in spectator mode until the next round begins. Challengers who have been eliminated may remain in spectator mode until the end of the show, but you can also just leave should you so desire. So that's going to be up to you. Rewards, MGF or Manderville Gold Saucer Fame is awarded to all Blunderville challengers. It's calculated based on your final rank, and then you can go spend it at the various NPCs like we mentioned before. And with that, hoping everybody enjoys that. I'm going to get to that after I beat Criterion Savage for the patch. New triple triad card's been added as well. I mean, we're expecting that's Allo stuff, so not much else to say. New hairstyles been added. You got this long, luxurious hair right there with the parting on the side, little braids on the side. New emote. We saw this on the website, the promotional site before. And then here's just them explaining how variant dungeons work. I'm not going to get deep into this. It has an item level sync of 665. It's from the quest that was mentioned earlier, Stranger from Paradise. And then this just explains how the VNC Duty Finder works. It explains how to enter. This is literally all the same variant stuff, so I'm not going to go over all of this. It's the attribute adjustments, variant actions, setting variant actions, the item exchange, which, if you've forgotten, is over at Tressant over in Old Charlian. Then we have the Criterion right here. By the way, the Halloween theme, Something Wicked, this way comes, because that's not what I would have expected in there, but I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Another Alo Island, but where's the other one? This is, same as the other Criterions have been. 1 tank, 1 healer, 1 melee, and 1 ranged magic or ranged physical. And then you can join this one you can solo queue into this one. That's just what it's going to eventually match to. But most people are just going to make party finders out of this, Party composition bonus, if you have jobs with more or less utility, then there's adjustments that are made. You have variant raise inside of there. And then, you can only resurrect with variant raise is the one thing that it has. Then there's the item exchange, and then there's Savage, which is only for preformed parties of 4. And then also has the rule of nobody can be resurrected at any point. And you also have the enrage sequence, so you have to beat the entire dungeon in one go in under usually 22-ish minutes, 22 to 24 minutes for the entire dungeon enrage. And if anyone dies, then they're dead for good. So it's pretty much like an ultimate in a sense, but 4-player Savage dungeon equivalent. And then that's it. That's it for the Savage part as well. They also said in not in the keynote, in the last letter from the producer live or in an interview, I forget which one, that they added a new reward for Savage, something item level related. So curious to see what that ends up being. You can bet there will be a video on it when I find out. I'll have my feedback on it regardless. Even if I do like the reward, there's still more feedback to be had because the reward for Savage is not enough. Going down into PvP, there are some adjustments. Paladin just getting adjustments to their Confiteor combo across the board. The healing potency being increased by 1,000 for the Sacred Claim effect. Then Ninja getting 1,000 potency on Doton, getting 1,000 potency on Hollow Nozuchi, and Satan Tenchu getting another 2,000. I don't like ever seeing Ninja get potency buffs in PvP. I've had so many bad experiences against ninjas. It's gotten better, but I've had bad experiences, so it triggers a little bit for me in there. Sage Numa's barrier potency is going up, but it's only going to have 4 stacks now. That's fine either way because it's still going from a 10,000 point across 5 barriers to 12,000 across 4. So that's, I think that's just pretty significant. And then Dosis is getting an extra damage tick. So that's always nice. Now, they mentioned this stuff in the last letter from the producer live. They're adding some visual cues for stuff like the allied versus enemy Dragoon limit break, as well as the turret and Bahamut. I'd assume also Phoenix. It's Bahamut's there, but, Phoenix as well. Also getting the new map for Crystalline Conflict, the Red Sands, which I'm really excited about. This one's got 2 major mechanics. It's got the sand pits, which summon monsters, and then it's got the geysers that can come from the sand pits as well. So we saw these during the letter from the producer live. Basically, one of 3 creatures will do an effect from a sand pit, and the sand pits exist kind of at the 2 major intersecting points on each side of the arena. So essentially there's the middle start point, and then there's the 2 sand pits on either side of it. So as you push the crystal, you're very quickly have to contend with it. In fact, the first checkpoint sits in range of the sand pit, so it's something that has to be played around very deliberately. The Antlion is the first. It'll pull everyone in at the end of the duration of the sand pit and then one-shot anyone in the center. Guarding does work on the pull-in itself, but if you get pulled in by the antlion, you're going to die. The Sabotender deals 100,000 damage to all players in range. This guard does not work against, but it's split. So if all 10 players in range, 10,000 per person. General goal with the Sabotender is going to be to try to make as many enemies be in range of it without your allies being in range. Obviously, pushbacks and binds, or even anything that can, like a tank invul. I guess I don't know about its interaction with tank invuls. I'd assume you would still survive, but I don't know that for certain. Either way, you're going to be seeing people try to shenanigans people into getting murdered by the 100,000 needles. And on the flip side, you have the Accutender, which is a Lunatender, which will give everyone in range a barrier effect. So this is going to be about pushing your enemies out of range, because this also splits between all the players in range. So everyone's going to be fighting to be in range of it. At the very least, it means everyone's going to get a small barrier, which can be the difference maker. It buys you that half a second that you need to get to that next skill. Then you have the Oasis, which heals people over time. Very often, people will probably be running to the Oasis first, because why wouldn't you? You know, it seems like a common sense thing. But more importantly, the Oasis helps counteract the heat waves. Heat waves will deal damage over time to everybody in the map, but if you have the Oasis heal, it basically counters it so that you regenerate as much health as you lose. On top of that, there's also little balming geysers all over the sand pits, and if you get hit by those grant you additional healing as well. However, if you step too close to the geyser, you will actually take damage and be knocked away. So you don't want to approach the very center of the geyser at any point. On top of that, the Sand Pearl Shrouds, the things that are actually dropping all around, those will grant a boost to the limit gauge. So collecting those can get you to another limit break, which can be really good for changing the tides, especially during the red sands while people are trying to focus on otherwise just surviving. So it's going to be a lot about playing around the environment in this map, something they did very well in the Clockwork Castle Town as well. So I'm really excited to see this one. I'm definitely going to be popping in if I see it in the cycle. Speaking of the cycle, there are now 6 total maps. I'm sorry, there are now 5 maps and 6 maps in rotation. It goes Palestra, Volcanic Heart, Clockwork Castle Town, Palestra, Cloud9, Red Sands, and these will rotate every 90 minutes. So going to be getting a good amount of variety on the maps for the Crystalline Conflict. Season 9 is also beginning today. Your Season 8 reward will be, of course, waiting for you at the Seasonal Quartermaster, so be sure to go grab that. And the usual deduction of 5 risers going into the new season. Some other new items have been added. I'd assume this is some Alo outfit right here, plus all the Fall Guys stuff was added in. New recipes, further Splendorous tools enhancements have been made. This is just explaining the quest that it's, they said was in there earlier. New miner and botanist gathering points, new fishing points. Certain gathering points will now grant a bonus to collectability. New fishing holes, new mounts. This is the variant mount for doing all 12 paths. Then you have the new minion. This is an Alo minion. You can see this thing on top of Matsuya's head in the picture above. So I think that's a... That's not a puffin, is it? I don't think that's a puffin. It's a robin? It's because puffins are very fluffy in the chest too. I think that's just a robin. Then we have new fashion accessories for this. We saw this on the site itself. New achievements and titles have been added. Server congestion, implementing multiple field instances in Thavnair. Of course, Thavnair getting some more hunts now and again. Division of Amareng and Raktikan in multiple instances will be removed, so that's gone. Sorry for those Shadowbringers hunters out there. New portrait accents for adventure plates. New portrait accents have been added in general. Maximum numbers of players designated Wanderer or Traveler will now be counted separately. Interesting. I mean, I guess that just helps for... the limit was shared by players, and this limit was reached both use of both the World Visit System and Data Center Travel System was restricted. That's good, I suppose. Reaching the maximum number of players allowed for one system will no longer adversely affect the other. Well, that's good. It makes it easier for everyone to be on Ether when they want to raid. New music and sound effects, and then a bunch of resolved issues. If they're resolved, I'm not really that concerned, but are there any important known issues? An issue where in the second boss battle in another Alo Island where incapacitated players who are revived at certain points are incorrectly marked with an icon over their heads. Got to keep that in mind. Issue in the variant dungeon, Alo where certain graphics do not display. And then Red Sands has certain graphics not displaying correctly. And the Fairy Cushion has an issue with the sorting order. All right. Either way, That's it for patch 6.51. Like I said, I'm going to be hopping into variant Criterion. We'll have some videos on that this week. And then I'll hop into Fall Guys, and we'll probably have some videos on that because I expect that's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm going to go hang out with my stream for the next hour while we wait for the patch to go live. And, well, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for everything Final Fantasy XIV. You know the drill. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye. All right, let me get that posted on YubTub. I missed the Savage reward in the notes. Is it there? Where is it? Ding, ding, ding. All right, well, then I can just include this and throw that in there. I mean, I didn't see a description of it, at the very least. Variant actions, respond, powerful, item exchange. Oh, here it is. Allo Allo manuscripts. Oh. That's still not very good. Upgrade weapons purchased with Allegan Tomestones of Comedy. So it just lets you upgrade Tomestones of Comedy weapons to 665. Yeah, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. I mean, I guess it kind of helps if you haven't beaten the Savage tier yet, but I approve of it for later. It's nice to have another way of getting a 665 weapon, but no, not what I would have done. Don't worry. I'll have plenty to say about that. I'm going to include that in the YouTube video. So there you go. Now it's bye-bye.